Hello and welcome to the Shoftim edition of the short Vort from Sheini to Shlishi. Between Sheini and Shlishi, the Torah this week talks about the mitzvah to appoint a king once the Jews enter Eretz Yisrael. However, we find in Shmuel Aleph Perek Ches that when the Jews asked Shmuel to appoint a king over them, he was upset. Why was Shmuel upset? So there are several answers that we can give. Firstly, if it was the reason of the Bnei Yisrael appointing a king was because of a mitzvah, then why did they have to begin with the insult of, "You are now an old man, appoint for us a king"? If it had just been for the mitzvah, they could have skipped that introduction about his age. Second, they said we want a king like the Gentiles. The reason for having a king is not because we want to be like the other nations, but it's because we want to be like Hashem. Our third explanation is from the Ksav Sofer, and he says that a king has two purposes. One is internal, to give moral instruction and judgment for the Bnei Yisrael, and secondly, to protect them from outside enemies. Now, the Bnei Yisrael, they had Shoftim and Nevi'im like Shmuel, who were doing the mishpat part of that equation, and therefore they didn't need that type of assistance from a king. However, they did need someone. They had no formal army. They did need someone who could protect them from outside enemies. However, when the Bnei Yisrael asked for a king, they said L'shaftenu, to judge us. And if it's for judge us, then they don't need a reason. They don't need help. They had Shmuel Navi, and therefore he was upset. Now, if we go back to the beginning of the parsha, it says Shoftim v'shotrim titen lacha. You should put judges and officers on you. And Rashi explains that you should have them in every city and in every shevet. The Ramban Nachmanides asks, well, if you have it in every city, don't you automatically have it in every shevet? So the Ksav Sofer also answers this. Moshe Rabbeinu's job, he had twofold positions. One was he taught the Jews Torah, brought them in the proper derech, and was close with them. But he also judged their cases. He also satisfied dinim between people who were having disputes. Now that Moshe was dying, they would need someone to take over these roles. Now the Beis Din is, there are two types of Beis Din that we're talking about. There's one Beis Din that would be a local one that would give people education and give them proper guidance and tochacha, and that is one that you would have in every single city, that people would be there. There's another one that was regarding judgments, and if you had judgments, people would definitely come out to wherever the courts were, and they would make their lawsuits. So therefore you didn't have to have localized judges. So when it comes to Shoftim v'shotrim, to have it in each of your cities and each of your shvatim, we're talking about in your cities you should have those that are close to the people and constantly monitor them and can rebuke them and guide them in Torah. And for those that need judges and disputants, that's only one per or a few per each tribe, and that's when the people will come. And also, since they won't know the people as closely, there's less risk of them bringing prejudice. And therefore, b'chol irecha b'chol shvatecha. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos.